sports, and special moments from Black History Month.
UNLV cheerleaders go back-to-back at UCA Nationals.
An inside scoop on the Nevada caucus.
The latest on new fashion store Revolve in the Palms Hotel and Casino and the UNLV annual Black Carpet event.
Joined by a special live interview and more. Studio G starts right now.
If you don't believe in yourself, no one will do it for you. What's there to be happy about? Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. As basketball players, we're supposed to shut up and dribble, but I'm glad we do a little bit more than that. Some have a favorite Kobe quote. Some have a favorite Kobe moment, like when he took off from this exact spot to create a highlight that has stood the test of time. Today, we honor Kobe and the 8 additional lives lost in the helicopter crash in Calabasas, January 26. This is Studio G News.
Welcome to your 12 o'clock newscast with Studio G. I'm Ralph Gallo.
And I'm Daryl Harris.
UNLV Athletics has a few hidden secrets. The UNLV cheer team happens to be one of them. They are now back-to-back national champions. Many do not know the hard work they put in for such a short performance. With Studio G, reporter Cabria Kirby has that inside scoop.
Which means your 2020 national champions, the Rebels of UNLV.
The hidden success of UNLV athletics is in the spirit programs. UNLV Cheer earned their second consecutive national title at the 2020 UCA National Cheer Competition. The UNLV cheerleaders train all winter break with 2-a-day practices from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. After winning a back-to-back title, it shows the hard work is really paying off. Senior Hannah Anselmo knew they secured the win.
I think we just felt each other's presence. A lot of mat talk. Energy is key. We have a lot of talks about how we portray ourselves. We're very tight with our game day. We're very proud of our game day. We knew it. As soon as we walked off, we just immediately, we knew it.
The UCA game day division that the UNLV cheerleaders compete in is a tough one. The Rebels secured the win over Temple University, University of Mississippi, and San Diego State. Game day is all about tradition and what universities do on the actual field. Routines are about 3 minutes long and include the fight song, a defensive or offensive cheer, and a timeout routine. With the Rebel energy, the gold goes home to Las Vegas.
Getting to the top is hard, but staying at the top is a challenge. The UNLV cheerleaders are back-to-back national champions. For Studio G, I'm Cabria Kirby.
UNLV Cheer does more than just cheer on sports teams around campus. More importantly, they are keeping the university on top. Be sure to congratulate the UNLV Cheer team on a back-to-back national championship.
Speaking of being on top, UNLV School of Music recently earned the #9 ranking for top bachelor's degrees in music by gradreports.com. Congrats to UNLV School of Music.
And throughout the semester, we'll be keeping you updated on the latest 2020 election news. Here's the latest. Nevada is key for Biden's comeback. Nevada's Lieutenant Governor Kate Marshall endorsed presidential candidate Joe Biden, along with those House Reps Dina Titus and Stephen Horsford.
Over 36,000 Nevada locals have already taken part in early caucus voting. This past weekend, the Nevada Democratic Caucus's Day took place. Studio G reporter Marlene Sarkeesian was able to cover the important day.
It is a rainy day here in Nevada today, and people are coming out to caucus for who they want to be the new Democratic nominee. The polls closed around 2 hours ago. So far, Bernie Sanders does have the lead, and Joe Biden is not far behind. Tens of thousands of Nevadans came to cast their vote in the caucus on Saturday, on top of an estimated 75,000 people who participated in early voting during the week. Sarah Tate, an out-of-state Sanders supporter, came to Nevada to promote her candidate. She spent weeks knocking on doors and living in volunteer housing just to participate in the caucus and tell Nevadans why it is so important for them to cast a vote.
So I think that the more people that turn out, the more democracy is had, and one person, one vote. If everyone turns out, then everyone's represented instead of just the elite or the corporations or powerful lobbyists or whatever. Just people that regularly vote. We need to show up the people that don't regularly vote. Yeah.
Unlike Iowa, the results of the Nevada caucus were distributed by the end of the voting day. Bernie Sanders swept Nevada with 46.8% of votes, followed by Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg. As the Democratic primaries grow near, one question stands: who will be the Democratic nominee for 2020? With Studio G, I'm Marlene Sarkeesian.
Thank you, Marlon, for that story. Be sure to stay up to date with the presidential 2020 election.
Nevada Democrats saw the largest turnout the polls seen since 2016. Roughly 100,000 Nevadans participated in the caucus.
Majority of Nevadans were first-time caucus and goes for Bernie Sanders, wins the Nevada caucus and takes the national Democratic lead.
Speaking of Nevada, Senator Catherine Cortez secured funding to help Nevada homebuyers. Our very own Bryna Feyerberger has that inside scoop.
Over $17 million in federal funding is heading to Southern Nevada. Homebuyers in eligible zip codes can now take advantage of a down payment assistance program that provides up to $20,000 toward the purchase of a single-family home, condo, or townhome.
What differs on this program versus the others is they used to give grant money and give a much higher interest rate to be able to compensate to give you the grant money. This program is giving a lot of grant money with an extremely good interest rate, so you're kind of getting the best of both worlds this time.
Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto says these funds will help to make home ownership a reality for 900 families who are struggling with foreclosures.
Once the money is done, they don't have this program anymore. And when it goes back to the regular grant program, the interest rate is close to 2% higher, and the terms are much, much worse. So this is truly a limited time offer type scenario.
To qualify for the program, borrowers cannot own another property, have an income of more than $98,500, they must take a homebuyer education course, and cannot go over a purchase of $400,000. Reporting for UNLV Studio G, I'm Brianna Faberger.
And if you're interested in participating in the program, feel free to contact the Nevada Affordable Housing Assistance Corporation at 888-320-6526 or visit online at homeispossiblenv.org.
New sports projects and the quick evolving sports town that we call home has added another project to the list. The Vegas Golden Knights purchased the San Antonio AHL team and will be relocating and rebuilding an arena for the new team in Henderson, Nevada.
Sound the alarm, hockey fans. The desert has fallen in love with the game on ice. The Vegas Golden Knights announced that they will be expanding and bringing an AHL hockey team to Henderson, Nevada. According to the city of Henderson, the team will build a brand new arena similar to the Fortress at T-Mobile Arena. The arena will be located at the Henderson Pavilion and will hold over 6,000 fans. With more sports rising in Las Vegas, the AHL hockey team gets added to the list of projects, including Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders practice facility underway.
The new AHL team will get its name by the end of the month. The Golden Knights owner, Bill Foley, announced that they will play the 2020-2021 season at the Orleans Arena. Be sure to check out the new team making its way to Vegas.
Las Vegas has emerged into an entertainment mecca for sports and now for fashions. Biggest online retailer has made its debut at one of Vegas' hottest hotels. Studio G correspondent Azaria Manning gives us the inside exclusive.
Revolve is one of the world's leading online retailer stores, and now, exclusively at the Palms, Studio G takes an inside look to see what all the fashion and trends is about. The city of Las Vegas became a lot more on trend with the collaboration of Revolve and the Palms Casino Resort and Hotel.
Everything from our food and beverage program, our hotel suites, our new resort pool experience that we're going to add, and the Revolve store. You know, it's a big recommendation for me. I think anybody that comes in here that maybe doesn't have the certain sense of style can come talk to any of the team members in here and leave feeling like $1 million.
Revolve is one of the world's biggest fashion online retailers. With over 500 brands to choose from, no social girl is left behind.
We always want to look our best throughout the day. So something that I would wear to school and then maybe out to friends, with my friends, out to dinner, or even just like out dancing is this long dress. It's still going to be very modest down. You can pair it with a denim jacket or a leather jacket, or really even a cozy sweater.
The Revolve store is more than a fashion house in Las Vegas. The store design creates a luxurious ambiance for girls to shop and create Instagram-worthy moments.
I think it represents every single girl in this world. Like, I don't know anybody who would not want to live here. From the marble flooring, to the floral, to the bright lights. You're in the casino where it's kind of like dark and it's got all these, you know, gaming bright lights. And then you walk in here and it's just so fresh.
The Revolve and Palms collaboration is absolutely amazing. Make sure you come and shop at the Revolve store exclusively at the Palms. Every fun, fashionable, and trendy girl deserves to be here. I'm Azaria Manning reporting with Studio G.
For more information regarding the Revolve and Palms collaboration, make sure to follow Revolve on social media and palms.com.
Black History Month is an annual celebration in February for the contributions that African Americans have made to American history and the constant struggles of freedom and equality.
And as Black History Month comes to an end, UNLV Black students honor the legacy and revolution Black excellence has to offer at the second annual Black Carpet event. Terrell Emerson shares that experience.
So please join me in a moment of silence.
The Black Carpet event made its contributions for staff, students, and faculty to celebrate this year's Black History Month.
Black History Month, to me, is just my history. Growing up in school, we don't really learn about Black history. We learn about what white America wants us to learn about. So my freshman year, I took an African American appreciation course, which really just changed my whole perspective of who I am as a person, who I am as a Black woman. So it's my history. That's all it is.
This event encapsulated the appreciation toward the diverse community our campus holds.
It was really cool. I thought the awards were cool. I thought all the little things that they did in between, I feel like it was real Black history focused, and it's not often that you see things like that on UNLV's campus.
I think instead of worrying about inclusion, we need to worry about exclusivity, especially for our identities. So I think this is very important because this is not about being inclusive. This is about celebrating us, exclusively us, and we do need that in a place like Las Vegas.
So, I mean, I think the goal ultimately is to be that representation for people who don't really think that they could go to college. Like, that wasn't ever really in the cards for me. So to be here and to be able to do it, I would like to be that mentor for somebody else since I didn't really have that growing up. So,
you know what? After coming this year, I hate that I missed it last year. I'm graduating this semester. I'll be back for the next one. And anybody who didn't make it to this one really missed out.
For more information about the upcoming Student Diversity and Social Justice events, visit room 309 in the Student Union.
Culturally relevant events and celebrations continuously remind us of our history and identity. At Studio G, we welcome Director of the Black Carpet event, Kevin Wright. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Ralph. Thank you for having me.
Now, my first question for you is, how did the Black Carpet event go? And you mind explaining to me a little bit about the Black Carpet event in general?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page about my title, because I know that sometimes it gets misconstrued. I currently serve as the Interim Assistant Director, as well as the Black African American Program Coordinator for Student Diversity and Social Justice. And the way that the Black Carpet came into play was that when I first got here in July of 2018, I held focus groups for Black identified students, because I wanted to hear, like, what exactly is the Black student experience, because I was trying to articulate to other campus leaders how the Black student experience is not a monolithic story. And many students came to me and said, Kevin, we've always been educated, we've always been well informed, but we don't feel like we've always been celebrated properly. we never have felt like our presence has been acknowledged on campus. So therefore, we want to see more events that center our identities on this campus. And that's what led to the creation of the Black Carpet. It started with the Black History Month Planning Committee, which was faculty, staff, and students from all over campus coming together to break bread with each other, to also talk about like what could be the most effective and the most celebratory experience, which led to the Black Carpet. And the first inaugural was last February, and then the second annual was last Thursday. And essentially the event's designed to celebrate the contributions of Black students, staff, faculty, and community members, and to really appreciate and know what's going on around campus, what's going on in our Las Vegas community, but then furthermore, what's going on in our Black community. And there was a lot of people that were recognized last Thursday that some of our peers didn't even know existed. And it's one of those things where we're trying to make sure that events like this can actually hone in on the contributions that are being made every single day by Black identified folks, because I'm also trying to get folks to understand that while we held this event during Black History Month, celebrating Blackness should be a daily occurrence, should be a daily practice, not just 28 days out of the year. So therefore, we have the Black Carpet to try to set the tone, but realistically, we're trying to have events like this all throughout the academic year.
It's amazing to hear some of the behind the scenes on the formation of the event. Tell me, if you will, about some of the growth from the first annual Black Carpet event to the second one, and what that meant to you, putting in the work behind the scenes to make it happen and giving the opening speech as well.
Yes, most definitely. So the first inaugural was held in the 208 ABC room in the student union. So to give context, I know that 208 ABC is the same size as one ballroom in the student union. So the fact that we had all three ballrooms, it was a major growth in just space alone from one year to the next. Another thing is that we actually had more outreach efforts. We had more marketing efforts. So last year it was very small, very intimate. We had over, I want to say, 80 people show up, which was great, right? It's better than nothing. But even then, it's just that we know that like this isn't everybody. This isn't all-inclusive representation of the Black student population on campus, nor the Black faculty and staff or the Black community member population. So we definitely had a growth in attendance. We had over 100 people show up, and we actually had a fair amount of equitable representation. We had faculty, we had staff, we had community partners show up, and yeah, we had DJ Paradise on the ones and twos, so that was great. And then we had some really dope food from Cajun Kitchen as well as Simply Pure, which are both Black-owned restaurants. And we try to make sure that we're always supporting our Black-owned businesses and organizations in the community, because we know that many times some of them may struggle with coming to terms or keeping up with like the cost of running a business, especially in a busy city like Las Vegas.
Yeah, and to put in perspective, Las Vegas is technically like one of the most diverse campuses on the nation. And I guess people don't really have that idea that there are associations and clubs like these to embrace that. So in your opinion, how can you get that word out there to students to feel welcomed for just a first time visit to the Black community?
Right. See, and that's one of the things that my team and we are currently working on. So when I say my team, I'm not just talking about the entire Department of Student Diversity and Social Justice. I'm specifically also referring to the Black African American Programming Team, which is myself and two programming assistants, Deshaun Johnson and Alexandria Hollingsworth. And essentially, from our first year to our second year, the biggest thing that we've been trying to figure out is how we can essentially meet folks where they are. Not many people know about Student Diversity and Social Justice. They may have heard the name, but even then I know that it's confusing to folks because of the fact that we are one office with two working spaces, because we have an office in SU 309, but we also have the space, the Hustle's House, otherwise known as the Center for Social Justice. So aside from putting on programs, we also try to attend these organizations' meetings. We co-sponsor their events because we also understand that there is a lot of strong talent on this campus, and there's a lot of students and staff and faculty doing this work alongside us. And sometimes they run into issues where they have a great idea, they just don't know who's going to pay for it, everything. So sometimes we try to co-sponsor events and try to let them know, like, hey, we are here to support you in any way that we can. Like, yes, we will put on programs for you, but if you already have your own idea, how can we make it a reality? How can we have it come into fruition? So we're always trying to show folks that regardless of where you stand or regardless of where you are within the Black community, and then furthermore the UNLV campus community, you have a place here, you belong here, and therefore we want to make sure that you feel as though that you have a connection to not only your community, but then also to the campus.
Perfect.
UNLV at times is a very political campus. In the last year alone, President Obama has attended, Bernie Sanders recently, even Tommy Loren has hosted forums. In your opinion, are these events for the students? And secondly, what effect does this have on the students when they host events like these?
Right. So anytime I've seen political figures come to campus, I personally do think that it's not just for students, but it is for everyone. I encourage everyone to be somewhat involved in politics. Granted, it may not be, the most appealing or attractive thing, but even then, we all need to be aware of the different things that are going on that affect us and affect our communities that we represent and serve. So I do believe that when political figures do come to campus, I do believe that students can benefit from it, because I know that when we had early voting on campus that was last week, right? The early voting? Right. And just seeing a long line of people and actually hearing from students saying, like, Kevin, I stood in line for as long as 2.5 hours just to vote. And it's just like, just hearing that just amazed me. And it just, the commitment. Because I was just like, wow, like some students miss class to make sure that they voted. You know what I mean? It's just like, to me, that's a strong commitment that I believe that everyone should be aware of in terms of figuring out where they fit politically. Because even then, I know that some people try to minimize their vote or minimize their voice, and the thing is, like, your vote and your voice matters. Granted, wherever you like, whatever side you're on, quote unquote, the thing that I try to get folks to understand is that as students, you have so much power, right? So therefore, at least use your power and your ability and your privilege to vote, because quite frankly, there's still so many people walking around this campus that don't have that access and don't have that privilege to vote.
Definitely. That's just incredible, man.
Well, we appreciate your time, and we echo your sentiments as well. And we'll continue to look to you for guidance and things that we need on campus.
Yeah, most definitely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Appreciate it. And in other news, Michelle Obama, a former African-American First Lady, is making change across the country. Wilson Elementary School in California has decided they will rename and rebuild their school as Michelle Obama Elementary School.
Speaking of schools, 2 Tennessee state lawmakers have put forth a bill that would allow registered students to concealed carry handguns at public colleges or universities. But one professor says allowing students to bring guns on campus would cause more harm than good. CNN reporter AJ Abell explains what this bill proposes.
This bill would authorize a registered student at a public institution of higher education to carry a handgun in a concealed manner on school property if that student has a handgun carry permit and is in compliance with state law. Dr. Pippa Holloway is a professor at MTSU.
The reality is when you have guns, the likelihood of guns going off is more likely. So when you have anybody that is armed on campus, what you're first of all doing is increasing the likelihood of accidental discharges.
That's exactly what happened last year at TSU when George Wells Jr. accidentally shot and killed fellow student Ricky Scott in his dorm room after handling what he thought was a pellet gun. We spoke with a couple of students who knew about the incident. They told us they believe that more guns could promote recklessness.
You have to think that, like, once they have a gun, they'll just be quick to shoot with it. Like, they won't even think about having a choice. Like, they won't even think about their safety.
This generation just so whatever they want. So if somebody just up having a bad day, they can just get to firing. But they got a gun on campus. Then they're going to feel like they want to take the law away.
The bad day part is also one of Dr. Holloway's fears. She says, though the vast majority of her interactions with students are great, sometimes she has to have tough conversations with them, and she's afraid that with firearms, those conversations could turn violent.
It's rare, but I've definitely been in some volatile interactions with students. And I would be a lot more fearful knowing that they could be legally carrying a gun into my office on a Friday afternoon while they're crying, you know.
She says she would feel less safe if students had this right.
The bill was introduced earlier this year and so far has passed the second consideration in the Senate. Gun laws are currently a hot topic. Universities should keep an eye out for the gun laws.
And in other news, the Rebels avenged a 4-point loss to the Aztecs back on January 24th. The Running Rebels came back and defeated the San Diego State Aztecs 66-63, ending a perfect season for the nation's last undefeated team.
Elijah Mitru Long led the way in scoring with 19 points, followed by Amari Hardy with 17. Bryce Hamilton had an 11-point, 10-rebound double-double, and was awarded Mountain West Conference Player of the Week honors for the second time this season.
The win gives a huge boost and momentum to the Running Rebels, who are currently tied for 4th in the Mountain West, with only 2 games remaining until the conference tournament kicks off right here at Thomas & Mack Center.
The Running Rebels take the floor tonight against Boise State in the matchup that will heavily impact the final standings. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Thanks for watching Studio G. We hope to see you here tomorrow.
And earlier this week, we celebrated the life of Kobe and Gianna Bryant. We at Studio G give our deepest condolences to all the families affected by this tragedy. We will leave you with this memorial to celebrate the Mamba legacy.
God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to heaven together. Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi. May you both rest in peace and have fun in heaven until we meet again one day. We love you both and miss you forever and always. Mommy.
Bigger than basketball wasn't just a phrase to Kobe Bryant. It was a lifestyle. From winning 5 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers during a 20-year career with his classic Mamba mentality, to coaching up middle schoolers with high fives and tough love. Post-career, Kobe embraced perhaps his greatest task of all, being a girl dad. Ironically enough, it was the one that made him the happiest. The creation of the Mamba Academy, coupled with coaching his daughter Gianna's travel team, thrust Kobe into a new role, team dad. Kobe opted to surround himself with a team who shared his passion for developing young adults and would dedicate their time and resources to doing so. And that's what they did. John, Carrie, and Alyssa Altabelli, Christina Mauser, Ara Zobayan, Sarah and Peyton Chester, and Kobe and Gianna Bryant. All passed away in that helicopter crash January 26th in Calabasas. But it is because of how they live their physical lives, their spirits will never die. Their contributions to this world have touched so many lives, from fellow coaches to teammates to everyone affected, as we strive to be equally as impactful. And it is for that reason, one final Kobe quote seems fitting. Heroes come and go, but legends are forever.